So why did Steve Jobs die? Did he die from a vegan diet? No. Steve Jobs didn't die from a vegan diet. He died from pancreatic cancer. So be wary of people that say, yeah, Steve Jobs died because he didn't get operated on soon enough, or he died because he was stubborn with his vegan diet, or he died because whatever the reasons are. Usually don't. The reason why people say he died and the facts don't really correlate. They don't really correspond. So, from doing independent research, these are the facts that I come across, and these are the conclusions that I come across, and they're not really my conclusions. They're sort of widely accepted now. So when he first died, people said, "Oh yeah, it was this vegan diet, it was this and that." But when you look at it, Steve Jobs, he was diagnosed with cancer in his mid-20s, mid to late 20s. But his cancer really started when he was around 24 years old. So you'll say, "Oh, why did he get cancer so young?" Well, when you think about it, Steve Jobs was offered a job in a computer plant, making computers, welding parts and stuff, when he was in his teens, when he was a teenager. So when he was 15, 16, 17 years old, Steve Jobs was playing with toxic metals, toxic chemicals and stuff. He probably didn't know they were toxic. This was like 70s, 80s, something like that. Long time ago. So Steve Jobs was playing with all these chemicals, blah, 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 blah. So he had this cancer starting on him when he was around 24 years old. He dies 30 years later. 54 years old. Right, that's when he died. He lived with cancer for 30 years. Pancreatic cancer for 30 years. Most people die very, very quickly when they have cancer. Especially something like pancreatic cancer. This is pretty hard to treat, or irradiate or whatever, poison the body. So anyway, so what happened was Steve Jobs, then was diagnosed with cancer, his late 20s, early 30s or whatever, but he refused treatment. He didn't want his body being violated, open up, whatever. Even though he had the money and this and that, he just didn't want to do it. He wanted to treat it holistically. He wanted to treat it with diet. So when he went on, and people were saying, you should get treated on. So he lived for 30 years, and then in his last few years, that's when he decided to get operated on, because his wife was pleading with him. His wife, So he finally got operated on him. That's when he felt the sickest of his life, and to his surprise, he died shortly after. So he actually became sicker from the treatment, quote-unquote treatment, chemotherapy, aka poisoning the body, because it doesn't just kill the cancer cells, it kills all the good cells. So anyway, so that's why he died. He didn't die because of his vegan diet, because he didn't eat animal protein. He was able to live for 30 years, 3 times the normal, the amount of time somebody eating a standard American diet, would have lived for. So he didn't die of his vegan diet, and he didn't die because he didn't get treated on early on. He died because of pancreatic cancer. His vegan diet prolonged his life, the quality of his life. If he were to, again, I'm trying to make this video short, but if he were to have had chemotherapy in his 30s when he was diagnosed, I bet a lot of money that he would have lived a really low quality life, getting chemotherapy, not having energy to do the things that he loved to do, to be the person that he wanted to be the genius that he was. He wouldn't have had that energy, and he probably would have died when he was 40, 35, something like that. So it's not that he didn't get operated on. It's, if anything, the lesson that we should learn from this is avoid toxic things. So don't eat toxic things. So don't eat animal products. Don't eat meat, dairy, eggs. Eat things that our bodies are meant to eat, fruits, vegetables. And, don't put yourself in toxic situations. So don't work in a nuclear factory, nuclear plant. Don't work with, chemicals and the computer parts that Steve Jobs did. Don't put yourself in these situations that are artificial to the human body, that the human body can't deal with, so that are cancer causing. So you avoid those situations. That's A. B, a vegan diet, a healthy vegan diet. And Steve Jobs wasn't even on a healthy vegan diet. He wasn't on a high carb diet. He went out in restaurants a lot. He ate a high fat vegan diet. So even on an unhealthy vegan diet, he was able to prolong his life 30 years with pancreatic cancer. Slow his tumor growth. So again, avoid toxic situations, chemicals, all that stuff, animal products. Adopt a vegan diet. Adopt a healthy lifestyle. And if you get cancer, after taking care of all those things, we live in a toxic world. We live in a world where the particulate matter in the air, the heaviest, essentially plastic is the particulate matter that's most common in the air. So there's more plastic in the soil. There's like 1/3 of every beach has little tiny bits of plastic in it. Composes of 1/3 of the beaches. So anyway, long rant. So moral of the story: go vegan if you want to live longer. If you want to live a healthier, happier life, go high carb vegan. Fruits and vegetables are your friends. If you want more information on that, check out my videos, subscribe. That's what this channel's about. It's about healthy living, no bullshit, cheap on the cheap, and a happy lifestyle. So Steve Jobs didn't die of his vegan diet. That's bullshit. Debunked. He died because of his pancreatic cancer. He died from this toxic treatment. Didn't die from a vegan diet. Didn't die from any of that hocus pocus. So, Jaybird sign out. Like this video if this makes sense to you. Do your own research. Check out the facts. That's it. So put your comments down below what you think Steve Jobs died of. Rest in peace, Steve Jobs. Thank you for all your contributions. So, peace.